Hello guys, in this video we'll be seeing how to create a login page using Tkinter as the front end and MySQL as the back end. In the last video we saw how to create a registration page. So in this video we'll be using that registration page as the base, and we'll be using the information from that database to log into a software successfully. So in case if you guys didn't watch the last video, I recommend you to watch the last video because we'll be using the database which we have created in the last video in this video for creating our login page. So let's get started. The first thing which we have to do is to import the modules. So from tkinter import star, and from tkinter import message box. Yeah, and then we have to import the MySQL connector. So from import MySQL dot connector as SQL. Yeah. Then we have to create a root variable. So the window root equals to tk and root dot main loop. Then we have to create the title for the login page. So root dot title. I'm going to name that as login page. And then we have to create the geometry. So root dot geometry of 700 cross 500, and then we have to create a frame inside which the login page will be there. So I'm going to put that frame inside a function. I'll tell you why I'm doing that later. So we'll first create a function called as f1 for frame1. In here I'm going to do frame1 equals to f frame of the first variable is root, and then the next variable is going to be this height of 500, and width is equals to 700, and its background color I'm going to set that as the last video we used the HTML code, so it is d3, and its font is equals to of normal, and it is of 15 size. Okay, so in frame we don't have font, so yeah, so we have to create the place the frame now. So frame1 dot place of x is equals to 0 and y is equals to 0. Okay, so we have created the frame now, and we have to create the labels like how we did it in the registration page, like the heading of registration and then the name, username, like that we have to do for this. So L0 equals to label of, we are going to place that inside the frame1. So frame1 comma text is equals to login page, and its font is equals to normal of size 15, and it is going to be bold. Yeah, and its background I'm going to set that as what we set for the tkinter frame. So it is of d3 and d3. Yeah, I'm just using this background since I like it. You can change it to anything you want. Either you can use the color code or the HTML code which you can get from the internet, and then we have to place the L0 in the frame. So L1 dot L0 dot place at x is equals to 220 and y is equals to 90, and we have to call that frame over here. So f1. So when we run this, you can see that the login page is created, and this login page is actually a frame which is inside the tkinter window. Okay, so the next thing which we have to create is the text variable and the labels and the entry box. So first we'll create the label. So L1 is equals to label of inside frame1 of text is equals to status of our username. Yeah, username, and its font of it is going to be of Arial of size 15, and it is going to be normal. Yeah, and then its background is going to be the same. Okay, and we have to place this label inside the frame. Well, one dot place of x is equals to 150 and y is equals to 195. Yeah, and then we have to create the second label for the password. So L2 equals to label of frame1, and its text is going to be password, and its font will be of same thing as we are having here. So I'm just going to copy it over there. Yeah, and then we have to place this label. So L2 dot place of x is equals to 150 and y is equals to 230. Yeah, so when we run this, we can see that our username and password variables, that is a label, is created. And next what we have to do is to create a string variable for the entry fields. So t1 equals to string var and t2 is equals to string var. Yeah, and then e1 for the entry field, entry of, we're going to place it inside the frame1, and its width is going to be 20, and its font is going to be of normal and 15. Then I'm going to set its border as 3, and then we are setting the text variable. Text variable is t1. Yeah, so then we are placing this e1, that is the entry field, e1 dot place at x is equals to 300 and y is equals to 195. Yeah, then we are creating the frame entry field e2. So e2 dot place, and everything will be same, and here the text variable is going to be 2, and this y variable will be of 230. Yeah, so when we run this, that is string variable. Yeah, so when we run this, we can see that our string variable is created, that is the entry field using the string variable is created, and we can enter text here. Yeah, so good. Then what we have to do is to create the button inside the frame. So b1 is equals to button of so equals to button inside the frame1, and the text is going to be submit, and its font I'm going to set that as normal and 15. And 15, yeah. So when we click this, we are going to do some command. So I'm going to create that command later. So for now, command is equals to submit and b1 dot place at x is equals to 330 and y is equals to 300. So for now, I just remove this command. Yeah. So when we run this, you can see that a submit button is created and everything looks pretty good. Okay. So let's just move this login page a little bit to the right, and I'm going to set it as 25. So when we run this, yeah, so that looks good. And next I'm going to create this command is equals to submit. So we have to create a function called as submit. Def submit. Yeah, inside here what we are going to do is that whenever the user presses the button, we are going to get the values from the database, that is the username and password. We are going to get the those values from the database, and we are going to check if the username is in the username list which we got from the database, and if it is existing, then the corresponding value for the username, that is the password which we got from the database, matches with the password which is entered by the username. That is the general concept of what we are going to do in the submit function. If both the password and username matches, then the login is successful and we'll pop up the next frame. If not, if the username is correct and the password is wrong, we're going to pop up the message called as that the username and the password is wrong. If the username is not if the username is not there in the username list which we got from the database, then we are going to pop up a message called as the username is not registered. So register and then continue. Okay, so the first thing which we have to do is to create the MySQL command. So here we have to create mycon is equals to sql dot connect. In here it is host is equals to localhost and user is equals to root and password is equals to root, and the database is the register. Okay, it's the test database is the test. Yeah, and cursor equals to mycon dot cursor. Yeah. Okay, so since we have created the connection with the database, we have to use this connection in order to fetch the values from the database. So cursor dot execute. What we are going to do is the query will be select username comma password from uh, the table name is register. Yeah, so select username and password from register. Yeah, and then we are going to fetch the values from the table. Since we have got it into the, we have created the connection and we sent the query, we have to fetch the values. So total is equals to per dot fetch all. So this total, it will be a nested list or nested tuple. Inside of each tuple, the first attribute is going to be the username and the second attribute is going to be the password. So what we are going to do here is, first we have to get the values which is entered by the user in the login page using this t1 and t2. So for doing that, we have to global the variable global t1 comma t2. Since we are getting the values inside the other function, so we should global the value. So user name equals to t1 dot get for getting the values which is entered inside the entry field, and password is equals to t2 dot get. Yeah. So next what we're going to do is for I in total, then if username is equals to I of 0, since the first attribute of each nested tuple is going to be the username. So first if you're checking, this case is true, and password is equals to I of 1. Since the first attribute, there is a index first attribute of the nested list is going to be the password, we are checking it with the password which is entered by the user. If this is the case, then the login is successful. In that case, we are going to return the next frame, so telling that the login is successful. So for now I'm going to pass that, later we'll come to that. In the elif case, elif username is equals to I of 0 and password is not equals to I of 1. In this case, the password which is entered by the user is wrong, so we have to display a message box. So message box dot show info of alert, and that is going to be the enter correct password. Yeah. So, and we are going to break out of the loop, since the username will be there only once, and that is because we are using the username as the primary key. So since if the username is detected at least one time, then the username will not be found in the next iterations, because there will be only one username. So in that case, we are breaking out of the loop. If everything is successful and then it comes out of for the else case, in this case it means that the username is not registered. So we have to display a message box telling that the username is not registered. So alert, and we are going to type in that account does not exist. Account is not registered. Yeah. Okay. So this is the function which will be having it inside the submit button, and once this is correct, what we have to do, once the username and the password is correct, we have to call another function inside a frame called as def of f2. Inside here we'll be having the frame2 of frame, that is going to be the same as this. Yeah, so I'm going to name this as frame2. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is that while coming to this frame, that is when the login is successful, I'm going to destroy this frame and call a new frame called as frame2. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to global the frame1, and while coming into this function, this f2 function will be executed only when the username and the password is correct. So in that case, the login is successful, so I'm going to destroy the current frame and I'm going to open a new frame. So in that case, the previous frame I'm going to delete it. So what I'm going to do here is frame1 dot destroy. Yeah, so this statement, it will delete the frame and also the contents inside the frame, and a new frame will be placed and created, and it will be placed at the coordinates x is equals to 0 and y is equals to 0. Okay, then I'm just going to display the function called as login successful. So L0 equals to label, or the same thing which I have done here, that login successful. if you are creating any project, so you can continue from here. Since instead of the login successful, you can use whatever the functionalities which you are going to have in your project. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to have is the back button or the logout button. So b1 is equals to the same, this button I'm going to place it over there. So this one should be frame 2 and this also should be frame 2, and this is going to be logout. Yeah, so that command is going to do when the logout button is clicked, we are going to call the frame 1. So when the frame 1 is calling, this part will be a little tricky. So now we are there in the frame 2, and while inside the frame 2 the logout button is clicked. Since once the logout button is clicked, we are calling the frame 1. So frame 1 will be created, but still the frame 2 will be there inside the Tkinter window. That will not be a good way of doing the coding, since both the frames are active, but still we are not using this frame 2, so it won't be an efficient program. So to make it efficient, once the F1 is called, we have to destroy this frame 2. So the way to do that is we have to global frame 2, and inside here we have to use the try except statement. Try frame 2 dot destroy. In the except case, I'm going to pass it. Why I'm using the try except statement? Because while starting the program, this root will be created and the F1 will be called first. So when it is called first, this frame 2 will not be defined. This frame 2 will not be defined because initially only the frame 1 is called. So in that case, if we directly give frame 2 dot destroy, it will give some error that the frame 2 is not defined. So we are using the try except statement so that it doesn't give any errors. So that is how you create a perfect login page. And then what we have to do is, I'm just going to global this E1 and E2. I'm doing this because after here I'm going to do a function which is going to delete the contents inside the password. So that is E2 dot delete 0 comma end. And if account is not registered, I'm going to delete both the values inside the text entry field. So E1 dot delete 0 comma end and E2 dot delete 0 comma end. Yeah, this is how you create a normal login page. So when we run this, so I've created a function. I've created a username, if I remember it is Python 2020, and its password is, I guess it is 12345. So when I click the submit button, giving the account is not registered. Let me just quickly see what is registered. Yeah, so the user is Python 2020 and it is 12345, or Python and 123. So it is Python and it is 123. So if I click the submit button, account is not registered, so something is wrong. Okay, I have to call this here. Okay, so I'm going to return the value here. That was the error. Okay, fine. So it is return F2, and then one more thing which we missed was inside the entry field 2, since it was a password, we have to show only the star. So yeah, it should work fine now. And I'm just typing Python and it is 123 and I'm submitting. Yeah, so it was a login successful, and when I press the logout, it comes back to the login page. So this is how you create a good login page. This is a basic login page which you can use, and if you're using it for your project, from here you can create whatever the functionalities which you'll be having it in your project. So that's it with the video, guys. If you like this content, do subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for more notifications. And if you have any doubts related to these videos, feel free to leave a comment in the description and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.